Hey friends, Megan Elizabeth here, founder and creator of the She Makes Club and by meganelizabeth.com. And I wanted to do a fun little project with you. I thought I'd show you starting out what I'm doing in my design space on my iPad. And I'm picking out a coffee cup right now. It's actually one from one of the Close to My Heart cartridges that I have loved for a really long time. And I am I'm going to resize and make it kind of fit the shape and everything that I want to make. And I'm going to do a couple slice tips here for you because I'm going to slice in the words "Let God" in the font Carly is actually the name of the font. I'm going to slice that onto the koozie of the coffee mug, and then I'm actually going to slice a lid onto this coffee cup also. So what I'm doing right now is grabbing my font and I'm going to kind of tilt it and position it where I want it to be and size it exactly how I want it to be. And once I have that all kind of sized and figured out how I want it, I'm going to select the letters and the koozie wrapper and I'm going to hit the slice function under actions. And then I'm going to be able to remove that excess like lettering and layers, and it'll actually cut it into exactly where I want it to be. But then the other thing I want to do is I actually want to grab the coffee mug again, and I'm going to do the slice. So I'm grabbing a rectangle shape, just a basic shape, and I'm going to stretch this rectangle right over the top of where that lid section is, and I'm going to hit slice again. Before I do that though, I want to duplicate the mug so that I have a whole mug, and then you can see those two split out, and then I'm just going to delete the extra. So now I have a lid, a koozie, and you can see that extra cutout of the Let God, and I'm going to just place it and group it all back together so that my sizing all stays the same as I resize and adjust to cut it out with my Cricut Joy. So you can see here I'm going to just play with the size a little bit, save it, and then let's jump over to my desk. So I have this old frame. I don't know if any of you remember, but I made this frame for my office studios way back in the day when we had the big warehouse and studio, and I've had it for this many years, and it's time to update. So I'm using the coffee kit from Echo Park, and this is my fun kit for the month of April. I will be featuring because I love coffee so much, and there's so many cute icons and papers, and oh my goodness, I'm just in love with it, and it's just so beautiful and classic. Like just good stuff. So I'm just kind of flipping through the papers so you can kind of take a look here at what all is there, and I'll provide a link later. It is available in my Amazon shop as well. But I want to get creating. So I'm going to pull it up back open on Design Space, and I actually have to make sure I have the whole image here. So I just need to go ahead and resize it because it's going to tell me it is too big to cut on my Cricut Joy, which I already knew. So I'm just going to kind of size it down and play with it a little bit until I really figure out exactly where I want it to be. This is only a 5x7 frame, so I'm not going to make it too huge. I just want to make sure that it all fits where I want it to go. And then I'm going to hit make it. And it's going to have me go through, and it wants me to do the coffee mug without a mat. So I'm going to go ahead and resize it again and make it just a little bit smaller because I want them to all go on the mat. So I'm just going to make it a tiny bit smaller. And then when I do that, I'll be able to go back in. I'm going to cut on a mat with the papers that I want. So then I'm just going to review it and I will be good to start making. So I'm going to grab my 4.5 inch by 12 inch mat. I have adhesive backed cardstock that I'm going to be using, and it matches perfectly. And the cool thing with the Cricut Joy is that you can just feed the paper in once it reads that the Joy is there via Bluetooth, and you start making. It'll sense that the paper or the mat is there, and you can see as that little light's blinking on top, it's like thinking and it needs to do its job, and it'll just pull it right in and start cutting out as soon as I hit go, which is you have to do from an iPad or an iPhone. You can't do it on the actual device itself. There's no buttons on the Cricut Joy, which is really cool. I'm going through a couple other things of paper. This is some of the new Cricut paper that's exclusively for the Joy. It's really cool, and it's adhesive backed as well. So I'm going to grab the white out of there, and then I'm going to be using this paper to be the actual coffee mug cup itself, and just kind of playing with this a little bit. So I'm going to cut it down so that it'll actually fit on my Cricut Joy mat, and just place it right on there. And again, it'll feed right back in for me without me pressing any buttons. So it just goes right in, and then I just hit go on the iPad. It makes sure that your size and material and everything is okay, and it's good to go, and it's just going to start cutting away. So it's so super simple. You can just see it zips right along. Really easy. And now I'm going to cut down my 5x7 background sheet. And I did pick two kind of busy patterns, and I do really like them. Probably was a little bit overkill to do them side by side. Maybe I would have, maybe you could do just like one busy pattern, but I really liked them both and I couldn't decide. So we're doing it anyway. And I'm going to do some ink edging and other things as well. And now it's cutting out my lid that we sliced with the white Cricut adhesive backed cardstock. So really, really simple. And then I'm going to be able to start placing, pulling out the letters and placing everything onto the coffee cup itself. So I'm going to place down each one of the little letters and the little pieces, and like just get it all lined up. So it takes a second to kind of get it lined up. I'm going to unload this. I'm going to place the lid right on top of the cup. Took me a second to get that to line up as well, but that's okay. So we'll get that lined up, and then once we have everything all lined up and everything is placed, I'm going to grab the ink edger Rainy Days In, and I'm going to use that all around all of the edges. But I just want to make sure I use my craft pick to get the insides of the O and the E and the D placed back on the design itself, because I don't want to be without those pieces. I want it to stand out, which we're going to even make stand out a little bit more in a second. So once those are all placed just how I want them, we're going to grab that ink edger and we're going to do it a couple times around all the edges. It gives it a really, really cool shadowing effect almost. And I kind of go around one layer, I let it dry. These are really, really juicy. So I don't want it to be like layered on top of layer, really, really wet. I want to just kind of go around again, swipe it a little bit further and a little deeper to give it more depth. And this is going to help separate it from those two busy patterns back to back, which you'll be able to see as we get a little bit closer here. So I just keep going around a couple times over, and I'm really excited because there's a secret. I'm going to be able to include this for April active members of the She Makes Club. So I'm really excited for that. Anyway, we are going to then grab a micron, or actually it's the Jelly Roll white gel pen, and I'm going to go around and do my faux stitching around the koozie part. Just little dash lines all the way around, just to kind of make it look a little bit more finished and complete. I think it'll be really, really, really cute. And then once we go around all four sides of that, I'm going to grab my black micron in my size 03, and that I'm going to fill in and go around my Let Go, Let God, and I'm going to do little dots and dash lines around the lid as well. So just a couple little outlining tips and features. Now I'm only outlining it right now, but once I put it in the frame and I took the first picture of it, I was like, it needs to be separated more. So I went back and I filled it in completely. So you can fill it all the way in with the black ink if you want to fill in those words, or just cut it out separately. I just needed it to stand out a little bit more contrasting because of those busy patterns. And then I'm just going to adhere it right on down to my backing sheet, and then just a few more quick touches, and then I'm going to grab it and put it right on into my frame, and that's kind of complete. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, we're going to grab the gold shimmer brush pen, and I'm just going to go over the koozie part, the green, to give it a little bit more shimmer. Kind of let that dry a second, and then into the frame it goes, and it looks so, so, so cute. Now, like I said, I put it in the frame and I realized I wanted a little bit more contrast. So here's what it looks like all filled in black with that same pen. Just a little bit more contrast there for you. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy the moments, and I'll see you again soon at By Megan Elizabeth, and hopefully the She Makes Club. See you soon. Bye-bye.